Hey everyone, I'm Neha from Indiahikes and you've tuned into Trek Pro Tips with Neha. Today I have a very special episode where I'm going to share with you something quite exciting that's happening at Indiahikes and perhaps even trekking in the country. We are having our Western Campus family trek in the Karjat region in a couple of days. We are actually taking a step towards making this trek completely zero waste. And we're very excited because we're slowly realizing that while this has been a journey that we've taken on for the past couple of years, this time round we want to go right down to the very last detail and ensure that we don't have any packaging. So let me walk you through what are the different things that we've been doing to ensure that this is zero waste and completely plastic free. So I'll talk about first the food that we are preparing. We're trying to ensure that everything is plastic free. So for this, we have ensured that we've bought everything in bulk in our own dabbas, our own bottles, or if we can get them in cloth bags like vegetables and fruits, we do that. So you can see here that rice, grains, lentils, all these things we get in our own dabbas. We get them from local kirana stores where you can get them in bulk without any plastic packaging. So that is one place where we've avoided plastic. The other thing is of course the vegetables that we get. So here you can see that it's quite easy to get vegetables from local markets. So here we can get all of them in our own cloth bags and we've done that. This I think is pretty much similar to what we already do on treks, but one of the things that we did differently this time round are a couple of things that we used to get in plastic. For instance, Bonvita. Now we wanted to serve Bonvita on the trek, but this time round, to ensure we don't have the plastic packaging, we decided to go for something that's homemade. So we have this homemade malt, multigrain malt. It's actually far more nutritious than Bonvita and I can get it in my own bottle, so I don't have to worry about plastic packaging there. Similarly, we have peanut butter and jam, and this is something that we usually buy from the market. Again, it comes in either glass bottles or plastic bottles, so we wanted to see if we can make it in-house so that we don't have to buy these bottles of food from outside. So peanut butter, we decided there's a pretty easy recipe, we can make it in-house, and of course we also have jam. So with jam, what we did is we got pineapples from the market and then we made jam, so we don't have to buy jam. So a lot of these things that we're doing is to ensure that we don't have to buy anything from the supermarket. We can actually get everything from the stores around where you get things in bulk and make our own things so that we don't have to buy in plastic or bottles or any sort of packaging that we usually consume in. So as you can see, everything that we are getting is in bulk. So this goes even for things like milk, curd, which we usually buy either in Tetra packs or we try to get it in the plastic packets. But this time round, we decided to get it locally procured. So we've contacted the people there and we've asked them to get it from the local farmer's place where he has cows and buffaloes to ensure that we get our milk and curd plastic free. Along with milk and curd, we also have things like bread and pav. All of this is gotten from local bakeries and we'll be getting them fresh right before the trek so that it's one, unpackaged, two, it's also fresh for the trek. So this is a couple of things that we have done with regards to food. If you actually go down to the nitty-gritty, we have ensured that there is no plastic packaging anywhere. The second thing that we looked into is ensuring that our detergents that we use to wash our cutlery, to wash our utensils, even if you want to wash our hands on the trek, we have something that is organic. So instead of using things which are from the supermarket where you have these liquid detergents or the bars that we use, so we've used something called soap nut detergent. So this makes for a great alternative to the regular liquid detergents or the soap bars that we get in the market. And we got it in reusable bottles. So we had these old ketchup bottles, so we just got them in that. So one, we are avoiding packaging. Second, we are using something that's organic and it's not chemical based, because everything that you wash will be going into the soil. So no matter where you're on the trek, you have to ensure that you are not leaving that impact. So this makes for a great alternative because it's organic and not harmful to the soil. So all in all, you'll notice that the food that we're procuring and the detergents that we'll be using on the trek, both are plastic free and zero waste. So another thing that we've been doing with our food is to dehydrate it. Now this is actually a new concept in India, but we are trying to look at dehydration as a way of having food on our treks. So here you'll see that I'm just going to show you what dehydrated food is so that we understand this better. So I'm just going to take this out of the way and show you our dehydrated food. So this is one example of dehydrated food where we have taken masala of methi rice and we've dehydrated it, and once we've done that, we've put it in Ziploc bags. So you'll notice that we have all our food made ready. Once we've cooked it, we put it into the dehydrator and then we put it into reusable Ziploc bags. So let me show you how this is done. How do we dehydrate our food? Come with me. So this is where all the action happens. So like I told you, we buy our food in bulk, and once we get that, we make it in-house. We have specific recipes, we design our menu so that you have nutritious, wholesome food. But once the food is made, what we do is we put it into the dehydrator machine. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. So here you can see that we have 2 trays, and what we do is once the food is cooked, we place them on the trays. The idea is that we put the food here, we set the temperature depending on how much water content we want to dehydrate from the food, and once that's done, we will ensure that it is packed in these reusable Ziploc bags. So there are a couple of advantages of dehydrating food, especially when you're trekking in remote places, and that is why when we are going for this Western Campus trek, we want to try it out here just to see if when we trek in the Himalayas or anywhere else, we see if dehydrated food can be the tomorrow of trekking. So to talk more about this, I have our co-founder Sandhya to talk about how dehydration works and what are the different benefits we have when it comes to using this dehydrated food on treks.
So we're trying something really interesting in our Indiahikes kitchen, which has the potential to change the way people trek in our country, and I want to talk about it today. Now, as you know, even a simple meal on a high altitude trek, especially a remote trek, is a very laborious affair. It takes a lot of tens of kgs of weight to be carried up in the form of atta, dal, chawal, vegetables, potatoes, even gas cylinders, gas stoves, even kitchen tent. So it's a very elaborate affair, and it takes a lot of manpower to even make a simple meal. Now this is where dehydration of food comes in, and this is the experiment we are trying out. When we dehydrate pre-cooked meals, what happens is their water content of the food comes down by almost 80%. It also reduces the weight of this food by 80%. So when you carry this dehydrated food back on the trek, you just have to rehydrate it, and there you have your favorite food, which has variety, which has quality, and even the nutrition is maintained. Now, while this is a very apparent benefit, that we really reduce a lot of resources that go up, there is a very inherent benefit that most of us don't see. The carbon footprint that goes in actually cooking food up the mountains comes down a lot when we use dehydrated food. You don't have to carry almost 200 kilograms of all this stuff to cook food, thereby reducing your use of porters, your use of mules, and also the associated necessities that they require. Like everybody requires resources. So it's a huge saving on carbon footprint when you take these pre-cooked meals and just rehydrate it and use it there. And this, we feel, can actually go a long way in changing the way people trek in our country, making trekking a lot more easier and a lot more efficient, and also a lot more carbon efficient. So I do think things will change in our country, and we will see a big revolution on this front. Let's see how it goes.
So you've got a little peek into what goes behind the scenes when it comes to this Western Campus family trek. Our aim is to go zero waste, and we are hoping that this little experiment will be something that we can scale up on all our treks across the country and even the globe. The reason it's so important for us to go zero waste is because trekking is something that we believe everybody must do. We feel that treks impact the mind, body and spirit. And to be able to do that, it's also important that the way we trek, how we go about our processes, leave minimal impact or no impact on the environment. And in some places, we want to be able to give back to the very environment that gives us so much learning, so much of happiness. So on that note, I'm hoping that these experiments together will help create a new way of trekking. We define the future of trekking where we are more sustainable, we are zero waste, and we are plastic free.